Hello everyone. Today we will start with the seventh chapter named Science and Technology. As we had seen in the ninth standard, our chapters are based on the different topics or the different fields that has been developed in our nation after the independence. And we had given a time range or the period during which we had discussing about those topics like from 1950s or 1960 to 2000. So in this chapter we will discuss about the development that had been brought in the field of science and technology. Today we all know India being a global leader has achieved a lot in this field. Even we had done so many researches, even the space program, the development in the field of science technology is overall development of our nation is based on the science and technology. So in this chapter we will discuss about the important events or the important developments or new researches, even the different educational fields that proved to be important in creation of a powerful nation. Okay, so in this chapter we shall study India's achievement in the areas of science and technology. Also, we are going to learn about the important institutions in the areas of science and technology and their contribution to build our nation in a strong way. Okay, so let's begin with the Indian Atomic Energy Commission. In front of us, there is a picture of Dr. Homi Bhabha. Dr. Homi Bhabha is considered as the father of the Indian Atomic Energy Commission. India's first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, wanted to nurture a scientific temper and bring about the nation progress. What do you mean by nurture a scientific temper? To create a thought of innovations, to give more importance to technology. Maybe we had seen the Britishers, maybe we are under the rule of Britishers, so we had seen their development, their power. So we are also following the footsteps to make a country, to make a nation strong in the field of technology. And we started this journey from the beginning, from when we got the independence. From this perspective, what is the perspective? Perspective means the view, the thought. From this thought, from this view, he represents here Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He set up the Indian Atomic Energy Commission on 10th of August 1948. You can see the almost after the year of independence. Dr. Homi Bhabha was appointed as the first chairman of the Indian Atomic Energy Commission. The objectives, the aim of the commission were to produce electricity from atomic energy, increase the yield of food grains. What do yield? Yield means production. As we all know, atomic energy is a vast source of energy. So to make it in a proper use, we need to be planned in a different fields. So it has been used to produce electricity at a large scale, increase in the production of food grains and make them last longer. Set up the technology for achieving this and develop nanotechnology. What do I mean nanotechnology? Nano means you can say the minute or the small, or you can say the micro technologies. Today you can see the use of the microchips and the artificial intelligence. In such field, nanotechnology plays a very important role. In 1956, the Department of Atomic Energy set up Apsara, a nuclear reactor functioning on the atomic energy. So, in the year 1956, the Department of Atomic Energy also created a nuclear reactor. What does the work of nuclear reactor? To process any nuclear fission or nuclear reaction, nuclear reactor is required, and now our scientists are very much capable to make such reactors by their own knowledge, or we can say the self Indian made reactors. So the first reactor was the Apsara. In 1969, an atomic power station was set up at Tarapur. A reactor research center was set up at Kalapakkam in Tamil Nadu to successfully use thorium for generating atomic power. As we all know, thorium, barium, rubidium, these are the highly reactive elements, right? So with the help of these, large number of energy can be emitted and that can be stored to produce or to use in different fields. The role of reactor is important in developing atomic power. Factories manufacturing the heavy water needed for the generation of atomic power were set up at Vadodara, Talche, Tuticorin, Kota, etc. So, different industries or different factories that based on the different reactors or the development in the fields of atomic energy, new setups has been done at various places of our nation. An institution called Heavy Water Projects was set up to carry out research on manufacturing heavy water within the country. So such kind of technology are now very much capable to perform in our own nation. So now we are going bringing ourselves to in the period of the self dependency. We are not dependent on any other country for our needs, our requirement. It was later renamed a Heavy Water Board, and this was later named as Heavy Water Board. Dhruv nuclear reactor. The name itself says it's an Indian made nuclear reactor. In 1985, a completely Indian made nuclear reactor called Dhruv was started at Trombay near Mumbai. The Dhruv nuclear reactor uses uranium as fuel. So, uranium being a highly reactive element, it is very useful to create the large quantity of energy. At this center, 350 radioactive substances are produced. They are used in industry, agriculture, and medicine. So, at this power station, 350 radioactive substances are produced which are used in the different fields, maybe it's the agriculture or the heavy industries, or you can say in the field of medicine. So, in this way, our innovations or technology going to at a higher level, producing new innovations in our own country with the help of the techniques from our own Indian scientists. Next is NPCIL. What is NPCIL? NPCIL stands for Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited. So this company was set up in 1987 to generate electricity from atomic energy. As we all know, atomic energy being the vast source of energy, to get proper use of this energy, we are trying to produce more and more electricity from atomic energy. The objective, the aim of the company is to master and develop the technology to generate safe, cheap, and environmentally profitable power and make the country self-sufficient. So in this way, we are trying to get more and more profit from the different fields, and our country should be self-sufficient in the fields of technology. So these are the beginning. Today we reach at a higher level. We had been at a position where India supporting other nations in the various field. So at the beginning we got the support from the you can say the intelligent people, or we got a good support from the government or the people of our nation. In this way, these projects been successful, and India reached the level of the developed nations in the field of science and technology. Next, we have the topic called nuclear test. We all are aware of the story of the nuclear test. The first test that done at the Pokhran was not successful, and we know the reason behind that. Since this test was done publicly, everyone knows about the test. Once America or United Nations came to know, they had put the restrictions on us that this test should not be performed. But in the second instance, we had done it secretly, and we successfully done the test. Moreover, we had seen in so many stories, or even in the recently we had seen a complete movie based on the nuclear test, right? You all almost everyone had seen the movie called Parmanu, where it gives us the journey of our struggle done by our great scientists. At that time, nuclear test was very much important for us, not to destroy any nation or not to give harm to any nation, but to make ourselves strong, or to prove ourselves strong in front of our enemies like China and Pakistan, as they have already had developed the nuclear test, or sorry, you can say the nuclear power nation. So they been a threat to us. To make ourselves protective or to safeguard our nation, it was very much important for us at that time that we should also perform the nuclear test, and we kept this responsible that we will not harm any nation with the help of the nuclear powers. So in this way, India being a nation always supported the terms and the information about the United Nations or any other organization. If you remember, we had learned in political science that United Nations always supports the disarmament or not to create any kind of problem to other nation. So our intentions are very clear that we are doing this test only for our protection. So first nuclear test at Pokhran. Both the tests are done at the Pokhran. We know the story. Why Pokhran is chosen? Because Pokhran is a deserted area and it is far away from the human civilization. So as we had seen, these tests are very highly reactive. So it won't harm the common people or the animals or even the farms, because it also emits the radiations to think on the water resources or the underground water level. Pokhran has been chosen. India successfully performed her first nuclear test at Pokhran in Rajasthan on 18th May 1974, in consonance with the policy of using nuclear energy for peaceful purposes. We always support the thought that we will use such kind of energy for the peaceful purpose and for the self-sufficiency. The reason why India took this decision was China's nuclear capability. As we had seen, China was already a nuclear capable nation, and with the help of China, Pakistan also getting the nuclear power nation. So to protect us or to prevent us from the enemies, those who are our neighbor also, we had done this step. The reason why India took this decision was China's nuclear capability and Pakistan's desperate efforts to acquire nuclear weapons with China's help. Dr. Homi Setna, the chairman of the Indian Atomic Energy Commission, and Dr. Raj Raman, director of the Baba Atomic Research Center, played a major role in conducting this nuclear test. We had also seen the journey of this nuclear test in the movie, where the different scientists from different organizations, they came together and they performed this big responsibility. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi took the decision of carrying out a nuclear explosion. Pokhran was chosen on the basis of the required criteria for the location of the nuclear test, far away from human settlement and no groundwater reserves. So Pokhran was chosen because it was far away from the human civilization, and the groundwater level was also very low. So these were the reasons why we had done nuclear test and why the Pokhran was chosen. So as we all know, after the first test in the year 1974, US put a sanction on us, economic sanction. You can also say the restrictions or the fines. Even at that time, we are collaborated with America in so many different projects. They refused to support India. If you take this moment as the challenging, but even also it was the opportunity for us. Since US refused to support us, we made our own technology by our own self. We are being capable, we know our strength, we are being successful in those projects. So it is a kind of a bit help from the America. We can say thanks to America to refuse us, because if America won't refuse us, we will be 100% depend on the America. But since they refuse us, we done this technology by our own self. In 1974, when India carried out her first nuclear test at Pokhran, the USA refused to give India the technology for defense related fields such as the space research, communication and missile development. These are the ongoing projects from India to America. So they simply said no for that. As a result, India adopted a policy of developing its own missile development program. Seeing the scenario or the situation, we take a stand and we stood strong to make our own development. As a result, India adopted a policy of developing its own missile development program without depending upon the USA. Thus, India joined the rank of nations like the USA, the USSR, France, China and Germany, who had their own missile programs. Right? So in this way, when we had done our own projects, we joined the rank of the higher nations like America, Russia, China and Germany. Okay, so this was the journey that we had carried from a big far way. Second nuclear test. As we all know, on 11th of May 1998, India carried out its second nuclear test to prove its nuclear preparedness. The three tests were done on this day. On the same day, three tests were done. Out of that, one was the hydrogen bomb. As we all know, hydrogen bomb was a much more destructive weapon. So we proved that India is very much prepared for the nuclear war or nuclear test. But the intentions are not to make harm to any nation or to not to carry out the nuclear war. One of them was of the hydrogen bomb. Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. At the time of first nuclear test, Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister, and during the second nuclear test, Prime Minister was Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He clearly stated that India, being a peaceful nation, will never support the nuclear war or nuclear attack. It was only for our own protection and to just for the nation's preparedness. Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee assured that there would be no first use of nuclear weapon by India, but the USA imposed economic sanctions on India immediately. But being a jealous nation, America put the economic sanction on us. Economic sanctions is a kind of, you can say, fine or the restrictions on the trade or the businesses. Next, missile development. As we had seen, we are much more dependent on the European or the America for the development or the projects in different fields. But since there are so many development happens in our own nation, so we had prepared a missile development program, and today's India's missile program is very much successful that even the developed nation took the help from India or take the support for the missile program. So that brings a big change in India's progress. At that time, our scientist Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he played a very important role in the missile development program, and that's why he's also called as a missile man. We all know about him. He was a great person. Missile name Prithvi. Being a name, Indian name, we can understand it's a completely Indian made missile. In 1988, India successfully tested the missile Prithvi, and in 1989 the missile named Agni. So these were the missiles, the powerful missiles. Today also the different nations also take India's help to make such kind of missiles. The entire world took note of India's program of developing nuclear missiles indigenously. What do you mean by indigenously? The word indigenously means self-made, our own, completely Indian made. Okay. Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, in short IGMDP, was conceived by and carried out under the leadership of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, undertook the task of building the missile. At that time, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was the chief of DRDO. So under this program, he supported the missile development in our country successfully, and we achieved a lot at that time. Even the different versions of Prithvi and Agni has been generated to meet the needs of the Army, Navy, Air Force. Here we have the information about the DRDO. In 1958, Defense Research and Development Organization, in short DRDO, was established under the Department of Defense of the Government of India. The objective of this organization was to make India self-sufficient with respect to means, equipment and weapons required for defense. So it is a department who works for the security purpose of a nation or the equipment development of a nation. After 1983, this organization developed several missiles under the leadership of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dr. Kalam has made a great contribution in the production of missiles. Dr. Kalam is known as the father of India's missile program. He is also referred to as a missile man of India due to his huge contribution in this field. So, when we talk about Prithvi, so different versions of Prithvi has been made to fulfill the needs of the our armed forces. Prithvi 1, A surface to surface ballistic missile was given to army. Prithvi 1, it is a surface to surface ballistic missile given to the army. Prithvi 2 was given to the air force, while Prithvi 3 was given to the navy. Depend upon the function, depend upon the requirement, it was provided to the different armed forces. Prithvi, if we talk about the capacity or the function of Prithvi, Prithvi has the capacity to carry nuclear weapons of 500 to 1000 kg. Prithvi could travel a distance of 150 to 300 kilometer due to the nuclear ballistic missile. So you can see the range of Prithvi. It can destroy the enemy at a distance of 150 to 300 kilometers. Even it can carry the nuclear weapon of 500 to 1000 kg. So such a powerful missile was made by the Indian scientists, or our own Indian made missiles. Agni, in order that China and Pakistan get an idea of India's missile strength and India's border remains secure, Agni 1 was tested. This military missile had a range of 700 kilometers. So you can see the range of Agni. It has a huge range of 700 kilometers. Later Agni 2 and Agni 3 were also produced. Akash and Nag missiles. So based on the function of the requirement, different missiles have been produced. Akash and Nag missiles, these are also the Indian name, and depend upon the strength of the missiles, the name also given. Like we know, Akash means sky. So this missile is very much capable to attack the supersonic jets or the planes. It can easily travel to the higher distance in the sky. And when we say about the Nag being the snake or the cobra, the deadliest snake. So Nag was the range of that missile. It can easily destroy the enemy's army. It is also called as the fire and forgot type. It means when you attack your when you attack your enemy with the Nag missile, so you don't bother. It will surely destroy the enemy. In 1990, the missile Akash was developed to fire from land into air. This missile has a capacity to carry 720 kilogram explosives at a supersonic speed and a range of 30 kilometers. So you can imagine it can easily destroy the enemy's fighter jets or fighter planes. The missile Nag was made in order to destroy the tanks of the army. It is a very powerful missile. It is of the fire and forgot type. India has militarily become secure due to the production of missile. So this is a kind of fire and forgot type. India had militarily become secure due to the production of missiles. Okay. Next is space research. If we talk about the space research, India has done a successful space programs in the past, and even today India's space program is very much important. That country like America, Russia, the different countries from the Europe, they took the help or the guidance from the India in the space program. Being a human, it's always been a curiosity for us to know about the outer world or the outer space, and in this way India had always played a very important role in the space program. In 1961, the Indian National Committee for Space Research, NCSR, launched India's first research rocket from Tumba Equatorial Launch Center in Tumba in the state of Kerala. So our first rocket launched from Tumba, it's in Kerala. In 1969, our indigenously built rocket named Rohini 75 was successfully launched. Indigenously built means completely made by the Indian scientist. The next stage was the successful launch of the first Indian satellite called Aryabhatta in the year 1975 with the help of Soviet Union. We launched our first satellite named Aryabhat with the help of Soviet Union, or you can say Russia. This success proved that Indian scientists can indigenously build. Due to success or improvements in the space program, it has been proved that our scientists or the people who are involved in the space research, they are capable to make such huge programs. This success proved that Indian scientists can indigenously means self-made, build and launch a satellite. Indian scientists were confident that they could acquire the technology for sending a message from the Earth station and to assess the working of the satellite. So our scientists are very much confident they can easily connect the artificial satellites that are sent to the space, and the different earth stations also made to get the signals from these satellites. ISRO. We all know about the ISRO. What is ISRO? Indian Space Research Organization. Right. ISRO is the India's biggest space research center, or even if you consider the ISRO, it also comes the top 10 or top 5 nations space research program. Today NASA played a very important role in the space research program, but the progress we had done in the past, in the last few years, that made a good improvement in the space program of India's. After the success of basic program in space research and rocket related project, Indian Space Research Organization was established on 15th of August 1969 in order to carry out further space research. The headquarters of ISRO are at Bengaluru. ISRO activated the space station at Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh for launching our satellites in space. So we just completed 50 years, recently completed the 50 years of the establishment of ISRO. In this journey of 50 years, we had made a tremendous development in space research program. Even the moon mission or the Mars mission, or sending the we had made a world record of sending the maximum satellites in a single rocket, right? So these are the achievements done by the Indian scientists. Bhaskar 1. India launched remote sensing experimental satellite Bhaskar 1 from the Soviet Union in the year 1979 in order to observe various things on the surface of the earth by remote sensing technology. As we have seen now, the developments of the satellites in the navigation field or in the GPS tracking. So Bhaskar 1 being a satellite that gives us the information from the space, and it can easily get the knowledge of the outer world with the help of remote sensing devices. India launched remote sensing experimental satellite Bhaskar 1 from the Soviet Union in 1979 in order to observe various things on the surface of Earth by remote sensing technology. We can visit, we can see different locations, different like how we navigate with the help of the satellite. We can sit at one place and we can check the locations of the different places. So it can helpful for the water reserves. It can also for the any kind of problem or any kind of earthquakes or any change in the climate can be easily identified. This remote sensing technology would be useful for India's development by regarding water bodies, mineral deposits, and forecasting weather. So it's very much helpful to forecast the weather. The photographs taken with the help of this technology about the bowels of the earth. What are bowels? Bowels mean the movements of the earth, environment, and forest were important. Any change happens, any part of the earth, it can easily be identified or it can be easily seen, and it can be sent to the concerned department. So it can save the people, or it can save people can be prepared before any kind of incident happens. Another area in which the information from this satellite was useful was oceanography. We know the ocean is a huge. What is the oceanography? So oceanography is the study of oceans. Oceans are very huge. We can't monitor or we can't take a look of the huge ocean. But with the help of the satellites, we can keep an eye on the ocean. If any instance happen for any ship get met with any accident, or if any incident happens, we can easily monitor and provide the support on a necessary need. Another area in which the information from this satellite was useful was oceanography. In 1981, Bhaskar 2 was launched from Soviet Union. So with the help of Russia, in the year 1981, we launched our satellite called Bhaskar 2. So in this way, we had improved lot in the space programs, in the satellite program, or maybe the missile developments. So India, being a progressive nation, done a lot achievements in those fields.